So we start on our back in this lesson, and always thinking first of your comfort. So whether you lie with your legs long or your feet standing, comfort is important. And always shifting when you need to. Now, as I've shared before, and I'll continually share because repetition is the mother of skill, and we're honing skills. There are 3 spheres: our head, our rib basket, and our pelvic bowl. And they're interconnected by our spine, which is the great communicator from our brain throughout the rest of us. So they have a relationship. And too often we have been taught, don't let them move. Well, maybe someone didn't say don't let them move, but if you were told to hold your belly, pull it in, you just created a huge constraint of something is locked down, it's not going to move. Or if you're accustomed to noticing, I hold my breath, or I don't really breathe freely, possibly turn your attention to an exhalation. And our head, those are where our teleceptors exist. Those are our eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, our mouth, which has an upper and a lower jaw, and a tongue that connects all the way down to the nape of our neck. So we're listening, not that we're forcing or trying to make something happen. We're listening to a passive responsiveness. And once I start to share, the idea is if you hear, oh, that's the direction I'm going, don't all of a sudden give up your playful, gentle, soft, and easy exploration. The newsletter this week, The Art of Patience. Have the patience to let something awaken and find your pathway. Even if you go a little bit, is it reversible? Can you come back without grunting or holding your breath or using great force? And sometimes we do. Let it be playful enough. So notice your contact. Listen to your breathing, the natural breath that breathes you. And slowly, listen to how you do this. There are many ways. We have our familiar, and then we start to learn, well, I have options. Listen to the relationship through these spheres we all have and our spine that interconnects them. And slowly bring one foot into a standing position and then the other foot. And then when feet are standing, you listen in that journey of bringing feet to stand. Was there a sense of movement that rippled through you? Was it a rolling? And in which trajectory? Side to side, up and down, a combination of things. And now you take a moment and you just scan with your feet standing. Something changed in the alignment of your spine and the contact. And then just gently, because it's always good to continue to remind ourselves of this gentle movement of tilting your pelvis a little up and a little down. Just to feel how that movement initiated. Did you initiate in the pelvis because you heard that? Or are you also aware of your feet that connect you to the earth, the ground? And when the feet give even the gentlest little depression into the floor, there is an equal and opposite movement that trails back up, reverses back up into you. So you just listen to the quality of that movement. What is the relationship it has with your spheres? Slowly, Keep your left foot standing, maybe it's going to help, and draw your right knee over your chest, and then have both of your hands hold just below the knee. So that you're going to, maybe you interlace your fingers to hold the knee. Did you interlace habitually with your hands? Not behind the knee, below the knee. And just feel that sensation. Now, without doing your best, gently begin to use your hands to draw the knee a little closer to you, and then just bring it back to its neutral. And as you do this many times, play with different trajectories that you direct your right knee. And listen to the relationship that your foot below the knee has. Does it always stay directly underneath the knee? So you might think, oh, one trajectory of my right knee could be towards my right shoulder. And then another trajectory, you reverse, come back to neutral. It could be, oh, somewhere between my collarbone. Not quite the shoulder, but moving a little bit more inward towards your center. And maybe you could think, oh, in the direction of my right ear. You're not looking to make it go anywhere near the right ear, but that is as if it's directing its trajectory, the right ear. And then you could think, ooh, my chin or my right cheek. Each time you begin to shift the trajectory of your hands, drawing your knee towards you, but a little differently, don't work with greater force, and listen to the relationship of your foot to your knee. Is the foot staying directly underneath the knee, or might the foot be doing a little bit of opposite of what the knee is doing? For instance, when the right knee is drawn towards the right shoulder, did your right foot go a little bit more into your midline? But if you were thinking, oh, I want to think of my right knee sort of directing a little thought towards my left ear, could your right foot go a little bit to the right as your right knee, just a little bit, goes a little bit towards the left? You're looking for ease, never force. So that there isn't just one trajectory where you're taking your knee. You're looking for where it's easier, it's simpler. And when some of those trajectories aren't as easy or simple, don't work harder, work smarter. The art of patience. And then rest. Just let the foot come back, soften your arms. If you're comfortable lengthening your legs, lengthen your legs, but always honor where you feel, this is what I want to do to rest right now. And you're just listening. Sometimes a flexion pattern, which is what we're doing right here, can for some lengthen the back more. If you're an extension baby, maybe the flexion caused a little bit more arching. So you just say, well, I can do less, I can rest more, or I just listen to the response of the explorations. And then very slowly, with your legs long, place your hands at your hip joints. So the arms are resting on the floor, but you just bring your hands somewhere to the lower pelvis area where you feel, well, I think I can feel somewhere my legs. So maybe think more of the pelvis, on the top of the pelvis, where maybe your pinky finger just gets a little bit of a sense of, oh, that's my thigh. And just with your right leg, slowly, long leg, roll the leg a little in and a little out. Now, if you roll just the smallest amount, you might not discern anything in your pelvis. But if you make a bigger rolling of the leg, can you feel that the leg connects into the pelvis and turns the pelvis? The very top of the leg, the thigh bone, is called the femur, has a neck and a ball of a femur. It's a ball that is situated in its socket in the pelvis, in the hip joint, rolling. So you're rolling it gently. And then let that go. Can you be aware that this is a ball of the femur? You are rolling in this lesson in your hip joint. And whether you do it very small or the movement gets a little bigger where the ball of the femur actually locks into the pelvis, locks into the hip joint to move, does it move the pelvis also? So slowly, this time, listening how, bring your feet back to stand. Notice if that ball of the femur, depending on the orientation of how you drew your foot up to stand, moved your pelvis. Did it rock it? Did it roll it? Was it moved by the ball of the femur in the hip joint? Slowly, this time, just tilt your pelvis again a little up and down. Feel the relationship of your three spheres and your spine. And as you tilted the pelvis, are you connected to your feet? That they gently initiated so that the movement from your feet down into the earth, back up into you, sent the movement up through those bones, your skeleton, to tilt your pelvis, up and down. And then find which direction would seem simpler and draw your left knee over your chest and interlace your fingers and place both hands to hold just below the left knee. Did you interlace your hands the same way habitually, or you could do it non-habitual? Just you choose. And begin this exploration now gently, drawing your left knee, using your hands, a little closer to you. Notice what happens in your pelvis, your spine, the standing right foot. And begin to explore, how do you breathe? When do you inhale? When do you exhale? And begin to explore different trajectories that you would like incrementally to direct your left knee. Your hands are going to be guiding them. The landmarks. Is it your left shoulder? Is it your left collarbone in the middle? Or your left ear? Your left cheek? Your chin? Or anywhere along the right half of you? And what is the relationship that your foot is having with your knee? In certain planes of action, the foot will stay directly underneath the knee. But the minute you start to play with different trajectories, do you begin to consider that maybe there's an oppositional relationship of the foot to the knee? And you notice this is different. And then let your left foot come back to the floor, lengthen and rest. So this lesson is going to compare this side to that side. And you honor you. I think one of the hardest things in this skill, I'm calling it the art of patience, is to give ourselves the patience to relax, calm down, little bits. We've been so driven in our culture. There are other cultures that are not as driven, and they're wonderful cultures too. Can we learn from each? Return your feet to stand. And this time, again, interlace your fingers and hold the right knee over your chest. Left foot is standing. And now this time, you're going to use your hands to help guide your right knee. First, take the right knee a little out to the right. Maybe you notice your right foot goes to the left, the midline. And then shift and take your right knee a little to the left. And does your right foot go out to the right? Look for that and allow your pelvis to move. And if your chest or your head decide, well, I'm going to come along and be a part of this party, please do. Find that oppositional movement of now the knee goes to the right, the foot to the left, the knee to the left, and the foot to the right. And then a couple of times after you've done that, to get familiar with it, do that movement of drawing your knee towards you again and a little away, and towards you and a little away. And now if I said with those 4 basic directions, could you begin using your hands to have your knee describe a circle in space? And maybe you start to feel, oh, I'm rolling. Can you feel the back of your right hip joint in your glutes on the floor? Can you feel your left foot is supporting this, and maybe it's also having a mirror image of this circle? What is your head doing? Or your shoulders, your chest? Listen to the shoulder blades contact with the floor. And what is your foot, the right foot, doing in relationship to the circle you are asking with your hands for your right knee to describe? And then reverse the circle. Yeah, you can change your hands as long as your hands are connected to the knee. Use your hands however you want. You don't have to interlace them. Find for you what is easy, pleasanter. And notice, why did you start with the direction of the circle that you started with? Is reversing it as simple that it's really clearly a circle? Or is it, I like to joke, Salvador Dali, meaning he did all of these different shapes that weren't circles in his clocks. Just feel for you where the direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, the circling is different. And listen from your knee all the way down through the thigh bone, femur bone, into your hip joint. Is it like the knee is the lead on the pencil on a, what did we call this? See, I'm blanking right now on this thing we did. I'm dating myself too. But you're drawing a circle. The knee is making a circle around the hip joint. And then let the right foot come back, rest your hands, lengthen and rest for a moment. Each time you rest, you just discern if there are other portions of you that are awakening. And however they awaken, notice. Don't think that it should be this or that. Just listen. The breathing, shoulder blades, pelvis, feet, even calf muscles, lower back, ribs. Wherever you can round robin your attention, your awareness. And then slowly return your feet to stand. And then you're going to bring your left knee over your chest. You're going to hold with your left hands. Start with those cardinal directions, towards you and away, and then the left knee out to the left Left foot inward towards the right. And then switch it over. Take the left knee inward towards the right and the left foot out to the left. And then from those, you begin to describe the circle of your left knee. The right is just sort of standing and helping, but it's a foot standing, not a leg long. There you go. And you all rest when you need to. And just be aware, it's not wrong if you keep the foot directly underneath the knee, but it is very different when in certain planes of drawing this circle, the foot goes opposite the knee. You just find where it's more familiar and easy and where, ooh, that's not as available yet. You change the direction of the circling. You try to understand, oh, why is it that I started in the direction I went? Was it simpler, easier, more available? And then let it all go and rest. You listen to your contact, your breathing. Is this pleasant? Are you having the patience to just allow learning to evolve, awaken, versus striving to make it happen? The minute we impose this determination on patience, there's no patience left. It's a different sensation within. Now, while you're resting with your legs long, and if that's not comfortable, bring the left foot to stand, but keep the right leg long. So the leg is long. Maybe place your hands towards your pelvis, closer to your hip joints. In the ballpark, the front, that's it. And now, slowly, think of your right big toe. Can you find it? You can wiggle it to make sure, oh, there you are. And now if I said, with the idea that your right big toe is going to initiate this, you feel your heel on the floor, begin to describe a circle in whatever plane your right big toe could make a circle of your foot, the ankle, circling around your long leg. So the leg is pretty quiet, but you're thinking, my big toe, like it hooked onto a clock, the minute hand, let's say, and you have to change the clock's time because the time is not right. So you're going to use your big toe where whatever that image of the clock is, by your big toe, you can begin to make a circle using your right big toe. Now the other toes are coming along with it. Can you feel your heel on the floor is also making a type of circle, which is the direction you started with? All the other toes are coming. So change the direction now. And feel what's happening in your ankle. There are movements happening in your ankle. And it's the foot that is describing a circle around your leg. Now, take your attention to your pinky toe, the right pinky toe. Can you find her? I always like to personify our parts. They can be he's or she's. I learned in many trainings I have to start calling them they or them. And now it's the pinky toe. That's the little one that ran home, got nothing. And how does this little pinky toe begin to describe the circle of your ankle around your leg? And listen, the big toe's still doing it. All the other toes are doing it. Your heel is doing something. But it's your intention and your patience to find my little pinky toe. and then change the direction of the circle. Get curious. Why is it I start this direction with this foot and then I compare with the other one? Oh, it's different. Now, your heel. So you've been feeling your heel as a response to the big toe or the pinky toe. Now, use your heel and it can slide on the floor to make that circle. And notice, when you describe the circle with your heel, are there moments that your toes go inward to the left or down below you or up towards your shin bone or out to the right? As the heel is now describing the circle. Good. And just rest for a moment. Bring your feet to stand. Draw your right knee over your chest. Take a hold of your right knee with your hands. And now, think of your ankle. You're going to keep the knee relatively quiet. Could you describe a circle from your ankle down? You can think of the big toe, the pinky toe, all of your toes. Listen to the relationship to the heel. But you're holding your leg relatively quiet and you're describing a circle. It's your ankle joint. And listen to the circle. Is it a full circle? Or are there areas of the circle that, again, I'm going to say it's a Salvador Dali circle clock. Not quite a circle. And maybe listen that there are times that your toes go one direction and your heel goes another direction. Maybe throughout the entire circle, you become aware that my toes and my foot, my heel, are doing equal and opposite things. And can you feel that there's minimal movement in your foreleg bones because your hands are holding that? Minimal movement in your thigh. And yet, can you still feel that little circle in your ankle is a mirror circle in your hip joint? You change the direction of the circle. You can do it slow. And then you can do it faster. And when you change the speed, does the quality of your circle of your foot, your ankle, in relationship to the constrained leg, is the circle different? And then let that all rest. And you might discern, well, what does my right leg, my right side feel like compared to my left? We've been doing this side and then that side, but still listen. And is it just the foot, the ankle, the knee, the hip, your hands, shoulder blades? What about your cheek, your right eye, the right side of your mouth, right side of your throat? And bring your feet to stand. Bring your left knee over your chest, hold with your hands, and begin to describe the foot circles, the ankle circles, toes, heels. Where do you initiate the circle while you constrain, keep relatively quiet your foreleg, knee, and thigh? You're not saying don't move. You're just really giving the main focus now to your ankle. It does a little bit of a flexion and extension. It does a little bit of what we call inversion or eversion or supination or pronation. And whether you know these names or not, just listen to how you know how to do the circle. What happens in the arch of your foot? And if you're like me or anybody else, maybe you've had some injuries Maybe there's a little snap, crackle, and pop going on. You don't want pain, but if something starts to just allow. The foot into the ankle, well, the foot itself has 26 bones, one less bone than when we find in our hands. And there are certain dancers and choreographers that I have great respect for. Irene Dowd, who speaks of 40 joint surfaces in the foot, those 26 bones. Every time one bone surface touches another, it's a joint. Most of them are gliding joints. Listen to the articulation. And then reverse the circle. You can play with the speed. The minute you begin to discern you're holding your breath or you've lost focus or something interfered with the quality of the movement, go back to the luxurious slow patiently. And then let that all go and rest. Just notice contact, breathing. Even if it's that, wow, I was aware that my ankles were making little snap, crack, and popple sounds, I used to say, or oh, this one was smoother and quieter than that one. Or maybe I had no snap, crackle, pop in my joints. Playful. And return your feet to stand. Bring your right knee over your chest. Take a hold of it with both hands. And then keep your left hand holding the right knee comfortably. And like a flute, slide your right hand down to your right ankle, the thinnest portion of the right foreleg as it comes to the ankle, and hold that area with your right hand. And now slowly, use your hands to help guide your right foot out to the right, your right knee into the left. That's it. So it's a little easier if you can bring the knee over your chest, if it's possible. And then just gently, you're taking the right knee to the left hand is encouraging a little to the left, and you're taking the right foot with right ankle with your right hand out to the right a little bit. You are differentiating. And then if I said, maybe you slide your hands, could you take the right knee out to the right and the right foot ankle a little bit inward to the left? Just a little bit. You're not asking a huge movement, just alternating the differentiation or opposition that when my knee goes in, my foot goes out. Because of the way my hands are, I have to soften my hands and just give a little message if I want the knee to go out and the foot to come in, still maintaining a little bit of contact with my hands. And maybe you start rolling a little bit over your pelvis, maybe your head, your shoulder blades. All of you starts to participate. Good. And then let that go and rest. If we don't allow the pelvis to respond, I call it a passive response. We're like holding, resisting. Well, that's what a lot of classically trained dancers were taught to do. Brace the core, brace the torso, don't let it move. And they just articulated through the limbs in the socket. It's beautiful when you can watch some of it. But classical ballerinas also have an awful lot of pain and structural issues because they're constantly holding. So if you discern, well, to do this, I need to shift my pelvis. I need to roll it a little bit. Shoulder blades, head, chest. Well, by all means. Who told you not? And return your feet to stand. This time the exploration will be with your left knee. So let your hands make contact with the left knee. And then, as if your foreleg was a flute, slide your left hand down to the left ankle or some place where you can get purchase hold gently. And begin this exploration of taking the left knee into the right, left foot out to the left, and then do the reverse, back to the neutral, and then just take the left knee a little out to the left and the foot inward. And by all means, let your spheres roll. When you want to change the direction of the foot and the ankle, or the knee and the ankle foot, well, how do you make it easier? Is there a little bit of, oh my goodness, side bending that starts to happen in your ribs in one place? Where do you make it easy and have the patience to listen? I'm allowed to move. Why would I resist? Just let it come along, awaken, versus, oh, they said I should do this. Because if you allow it, then you'll find your pathway of ease without injury. And then rest. Protractor. That's what I needed to have the patience to stop trying to think of what it was. And boom, it popped. So Moshe, one of the many things he was extremely genius and skilled at was he was an engineer, he was a physicist. So these ideas came from physics, structure. And bring your feet to stand. Bring your right knee over your chest. Take a hold of the right knee with your left hand. Slide your right hand down to your ankle. And now do this in such a way where, again, you're going to keep the knee relatively quiet, but you're going to use your right hand to articulate, and you have the liberty to move your right hand from your ankle to your foot so that the foot is going to describe a circle around your knee. There's that protractor idea. But use your hands. Maybe you want to go ahead and move your hand more to the outside edge of your right foot. Where is it going to make it easier for you? Or maybe you want to take a hold of your right hand to your right heel. Or can you get, if you bend the knee comfortably enough, your hand to hold the right pinky toe and describe the circle, but it's the whole ankle, it's the whole foot, making a circle around the knee that is quieter. Make sure it's the ankle. The ankle. That's better. So the ankle will flex and extend. It'll do some of that inversion or eversion or supination or pronation, but it's the ankle that's doing this circle. And then reverse the circle. In a sense, you're making a large circle of the ankle around the knee, of the foot around the knee, a differentiation of the ankle. And then you rest. And bring your feet to stand. Now it's the left knee that comes over your chest. It's your right hand that's going to support the left knee. And it's your left hand is going to find how it gets down to the place where it can help be the driver, the indicator, the initiator of asking your left ankle to make a circle while the left knee foreleg is relatively quiet. You find for you the ankle. That's it. And then notice, does your head roll? Did you turn to look? Was there a side bending that some of your ribs accordioned together and the other ribs lengthened? Or did it not get your attention to want to watch? And reverse the circle. I dare say, can you still feel a little movement in your hip joint as a result? Mirror. Tiny. It's a rippling effect that went through the skeleton, even though there were some constraints here. And then let that all go and rest. Okay. Bring your feet to stand. You're going to bring both knees over your chest. And now what you're going to do is slide your right hand down. So if you could hold the outside edge of your right foot, the pinky toe side area. However you can, see what you can do. If you can't, modify it. And then slide your left hand down to hold the outside edge of your left foot. So did your knees go close together and touch? Yeah, and some of you can lift your head to look. Now, keep the knees together and take your feet out to the side. That's it. Now, some of you are thinking of going to the ceiling. No, but the knees have to come together. So I'm going to give an image. What if, because that's right, the elbows are outside the legs. That's it. Now, if I said, you were thinking, I almost want to take my feet spread towards the floor, but my knees are going to stay together. You don't have to get there. And some of you lifted your head. This is exactly what I did. And then come back onto your back, roll back, come into neutral, and do it again. You're spreading the legs, the feet, but the knees come together. That's it. Good. Just, you do a little bit. It's asking a lot because the ball of the femur now, when the knees come together, where is the ball of the femur in my hip joints? Good. Let it go and rest. Now I'm going to vary this next position. I'm going to first do the variance, the adaptation, and then I'll give you what the actual directions are. I'm always playing with lessons because I keep finding maybe there's an easier way in. So slowly, come up to sit, and if you know what a side sitting position is, one leg is in front, the other knee is bent, resting at the sole of the front foreleg foot, and that other foot is back. Good. So I have someone in a right side sitting position. That means the right leg is in front. I have another one in a left side sitting position. Doesn't matter. This is the modification. Please rest with your hands wherever your hands can be on the floor to support you. Maybe a little back behind you. Maybe a little back behind you. And if I said, bring the knees towards the ceiling and flip the legs over. So if you are side sitting, right side sitting, you are left side sitting. And if you're left side sitting, right side sitting, beautiful. So all you have to, that's it. You actually have to change your orientation in the room. Do that again. Both knees will lift towards the ceiling, flip the feet and come to side sitting in the opposite direction. You are pivoting yourself. Once you're in this, looking at this place, then you pivot your knees and you look at the other place. Please do that. Good. And just get playful with it. You're using your hands to support you so you can rock back on your pelvis. What happened in your belly and your chest and your head? Good. Now, that's my modification. Okay. So now, what's easier for you? The front leg is not in the side sitting position. It is straight in front of you. So the front leg, if it's right or left, make it straight, if it's comfortable enough. Good. So someone changed their legs. Good. Now, the leg that is in front, long, that's the hand you want on the floor. It's going to support you. The other hand is going to hold the bent knee. Please use the hand that's holding the bent knee, maybe as you exhale, and lift the knee and begin to see, can I bring this knee towards the ceiling? Don't change the foot. Keep the foot on the floor. And can I bring this knee in the vertical? I'd have to change my position. Don't change the foot. Change the knee to come over the foot when the foot stands. And then take the knee back to the floor. Beautiful. That's gorgeous. I just saw someone do what I was asking. Now change it back. So you notice the hand that was supporting you on the floor, that's it. Beautiful. Keep doing that. Yeah, you got it. Someone on a purple yoga mat wearing blue is playing it and God, yeah, there you go. You see, a nervous system or brain wakes up. That's it. Good. Back and forth. You see, you have to change your spheres. Everything is changing. Beautiful. Rest for a moment and then change over your legs. I don't think you need to do the modification because the first modification did it this way and that way. One leg in front is straight, if possible. If not, soften it. Do what you need to do. The other leg is back behind. The leg that is straight is a hand that supports you, but it pivots. That's it. And lift that knee with the hand to pivot and move you. That's it. Beautiful. Back and forth. And feel, look, there is muscles. There is what's happening in both of those hip joints. Can you feel both of the hip joints are being activated? Good. Leave that alone. Lie on your back and rest. So you noticed you had to change your entire orientation, the position of your body. And I'm telling you, there had to be flexibility in your vertebral column. There had to be flexibility in your hips, even if you only did a little bit of it. Even if for someone it's the beginning, micro movement, fine, wonderful. Oh, now let's do this. Bring your feet to stand. Keep them comfortably spread. And now if I said, bring your knees together to touch and slide your feet a little further out to the side. That's what I was asking you to do when your legs were over and you were doing it with your hands. So now open the knees. Take the knees out to the side, let the soles of the feet come closer together. And go back and forth with these two movements. Once the knees come together and the feet go out, you would roll more to the inside edge of your feet. Maybe the soles of your feet are showing to the right and the left when you do that. And then you take your knees out to the side. You don't have to move the legs. You just allow the feet to roll in. The knees don't have to get to the floor. That's it. Back and forth. Feel what happens in your lower back. Something changes. The knees are going in and out. The feet are going out and in relationship to the knees. Feel how you're rolling through your ankles. That's it. And rest. Now this is a bit of rolling. But you know something? I think I'm going to modify this one too. So please come to sit. Now, this is a modification. I want to clarify something. So bring your, let's make it your right foot stands and your left leg is long, and use your left hand on the floor to support yourself. Yep. Now, use your right hand to hold your right knee and begin to tilt your right knee over to the left as if you wanted to use your spine however you could so that your right hand carrying your right knee could come to the floor to the left of you, and maybe your right foot goes into the air. Oh, but I want the right hand holding the right knee, and the right knee crosses over the left leg. Thank you. Thank you. And then bring it back. What did you have to do? You had to move all of you. So please lift the knee and carry it over to get the knee and the hand to the left, and your right foot goes towards the ceiling-ish. Thank you. And did you turn and look in the opposite direction? Now do that with your other leg. So lengthen the right leg, bring the left foot to stand, or guess what? You know what else you could do? You could have both feet standing, and you could have the knee that is in the way tilt out to the side. But you still want the hand carrying the other knee to cross over it. Thank you. Foot towards the ceiling. That's it. There you go. Beautiful. But get the foot towards the ceiling. Don't let the foot, foreleg, and knee go to the floor. It's just the knee with the hand. That's it. Use the hand on the, that's it. Foot towards the ceiling. Foot up. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Okay, leave it alone and rest. Working lesson for you today. Okay, bring your feet to stand. Bring your right knee over your chest. Take a hold of the right knee. Do you want to use both hands? Do you just want to use your right hand? But please, you're on your back. And maybe that left knee that's in the air will be in your way. You'll relinquish it to the ground. Could you carry your right knee up and over so that the right hand carrying the right knee touches the floor to the left? Your right foot is more or less towards the ceiling. Thank you. Come back onto your back. Do it again. That's it. Take your time. You don't have to get there the first time. Have the patience. How do you get back if you went to your side to roll? How do you come back? That's it. Yes. Feel what's happening in your hip joint when I say if the hand knee gets to the floor, that foot goes to the ceiling. It does something very different in the hip joint. That's what we're awakening to. That's it. And then come back on your back. Pause a moment or two. You see how to turn your pelvis. And if you turned your pelvis, I'm thinking you also turned your chest. I'm thinking your head came along too. And then how did you come back? What led you back? Was it the hand with the knee? Was it your pelvis? Was it your head and your eyes? How? Always different ways to initiate, to return. Now do it to the other side. So bring your feet to stand. It's the left knee you're going to hold. One hand, two hands, you get to choose. Oh, you could also do this. What if you took the right hand to the left knee and slid the left hand down to the left outside edge of the foot or ankle? And so each hand was going to guide this knee to cross over you. Take your time. Don't try to do it in one fell swoop. Boom. And then come back. How do you come back? Don't hold your breath. Thank you. Someone took their head. Someone used their head to lead them back. That's it. Feel what you do. Take your time. Notice sometimes when, oop, I fell. It's okay. Use your head and eyes. Let them bring you back. That's it. Use your breath. There you go. Beautiful. Leave it alone and rest. Maybe as you lie on your back, if it's comfortable to have legs long, just roll your leg, one and then the other. Like a little wobble, like a little oscillation, bloom, 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 like it was a rolling pin. And you're rolling it a little this way and that way and this way and that way. Do one leg, compare it with the other leg. And then once more, bring your feet to stand, but bring both of your knees over your chest. Hold one knee with one hand, the other knee with the other hand. Draw them a little closer to you. And just a couple of times, make some circles of your knees around your feet, of your feet and ankles around your knees. That's it. That's it. And then let it all go and rest. That's it. And as you rest, you just listen. The art of patience, being patient with ourselves. We get frustrated, that's a global contraction. We get frustrated, affects our blood pressure. It affects our mood, our state, everything. So we pause. Even if there are things that we have to deal with, it's at a better place when we can be in that place of quiet to listen. It'll be a better decision made. But notice what you feel. And anything that spoke to you in this lesson, keep playing with it. It might not be the whole lesson. It might be just a portion that wired into your brain and went, ooh, I like that. I want to keep playing with it. Then that's what you play with. Whatever it is that you remember, it meant something to you. You honor that. You play with that. Slowly. Take your time in bringing yourself to stand, because as you do come to stand, take a moment to stand, shift your weight from one leg to the other. Feel, is there a dance in your pelvis, in your chest, in your head, through your spine? You take a little walk. Notice, how do your hips feel? Your pelvis, your spine, and how your feet land on the floor.